Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Brandon, your host with the most, and this is the Age of the Comeback. Bop, bop, boom, boom. All right. Well, nice seeing everyone again. Thank you guys for attending this episode with me. It's always so much fun creating these episodes. I get to be so creative. Like right now, for instance, my lady Cynthia, she has decorated the area where I usually host my episodes for the Christmas setup. So I'll be doing it in the other part of my living room until we redesign that portion again. Yeah. God bless her soul, though, man. She's worked so hard on that setup. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. And it actually looks amazing so far, too. All right. Also, just a heads up, everyone. I'm also coming off the flu, so my voice may or may not sound raspy. I'm not sure. We'll see. However, it sounds raspy to me. Let's just say that. But we'll see how it comes out on the audio, okay? All right. Well, since we addressed all of that, why I'm here, and why I'm here in this location recording this episode, and then also my voice may or may not be raspy, let's get on with the episode. Who's ready? Let's go. Hell yeah. So, to start this off, who's this episode for? This episode is for, are you an individual that spends so much time trying to explain everything that's happening within your reality to the point that it actually takes you out of action? It actually takes you out of action, so you're not creating anything because you're too busy trying to find the explanation behind it. This episode is for you. Are you an individual that you are on your own agenda all the time, and it's you, and you may not even realize it? You may not even realize it. This episode is for you. Also, third and certainly not least, are you an individual that has lost so much trust in yourself to the point that you've become an own prisoner to your own mind? This episode is for you. And that brings me to the title of this podcast / YouTube episode. The episode's title is, You Don't Need to Be in Prison to Be in Prison. What the hell are you talking about, Brandon? Why are you always doing this to us? I got you, bro. I got you, sis. Don't worry. This episode is going to be a banger. Okay? Stay tuned. All right, buddy? All right. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, you already know how these episodes go. I'm going to put you in through some thought cycles for you to think about it yourself. What do you think that means? You don't have to be in prison to be in prison. What does that mean? What does that mean, Brandon? I'll give you a sec. Just to ponder on that for a little bit. You don't have to be in prison to be in prison. And here we go. We're going to tap into 3 subtopics, I guess I'd like to say, right? 3 subtopics, okay? And number 1 is the source. The source. Where did that come from as far as the limiting belief, the picture that you've drawn about yourself, the picture that you've drawn for yourself? Like, what did you make up about yourself from a particular experience from your past? Where did it come from? Source. And what were the limiting beliefs that you made up about yourself? Okay? Number 2. Number 2 is agendas. So how those limiting beliefs actually affect how you view the world, and if you're able to look at it from other people's agendas, or if you are stuck in your own agenda. And there gets to be a breakthrough in that place. Third, last but certainly not least, 3, that is becoming a prisoner in your own mind. Again, that's becoming a prisoner in your own mind. And they all tie into each other. They all tie into each other to where the source of where the limiting belief comes from, then being stuck in your own agenda, and then 3 is becoming a prisoner of your own mind. Okay? So let's tap into it. Let's jump straight into it. All right, guys? Let's jump straight into this, guys. So again, thank you guys so much for being here with me. I sincerely appreciate it. I want you guys to give yourselves a round of applause just for being here and attending this episode with me. This one's going to be a banger, all right? So let me tap into the first subtopic of this episode. You don't have to be in prison to be in prison. And the first subtopic is source. Now, where do I even want to begin with that is the question. That's a powerful one, really, because it's all up to the individual. It's all up to the individual to where did the limiting belief source from? Now, there's been multiple sources for me, and I'll tell you each and every single one of them. Through the duration of you guys watching my episodes, right? However, a couple come to mind where they have just been insane traumatic experiences to me. And there's no comparison of what's worse, right? A traumatic experience is a traumatic experience. Obviously, there's way more worse things that happen to human beings from what I'm going to mention to you. However, this is what really, this is my source. This is my source of where the limiting beliefs that popped up for me came up. And here we go. So the first limiting belief that I made up about myself is that I'm unworthy. I'm unworthy. I'm unworthy. The second limiting belief that I made up about myself was that I can't trust myself. I can't trust myself, so I can't trust others. And the third was not loving myself. Not loving myself. That nobody would ever love me. And yeah, that one was a really, really powerful one. So let's start off from limiting belief number one. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of the life that I want to create for myself. I'm not worthy of creating content that people will actually listen to. Well, where that came from, where that sourced from, the unworthiness and that I'm not able to do anything and, I'm not worthy of it, is, well, that really came from, I believe, the drug addiction. The drug addiction, that is, if you guys have been watching my episodes, watch my episodes, okay? You guys will know that I am a recovered addict, okay? I'm a recovered addict. I don't even claim that anymore because I don't even want to attach myself to my past anymore, okay? But that is my past. I'm going to speak about it. I'm a recovered addict, and specifically was alcohol and cocaine for 7 years. And I've been sober for 2. Right? I've been sober for 2. Again, I'm not even counting the days, man, because I don't want to attach myself to that. I don't want, what I'm creating for myself now is something so big that, it doesn't have room for that no more, man. Those attachments to my past in that space, it's not aligning with who I'm becoming in this moment and what I'm creating for my future in the present. Okay? However, speaking about it, is the unworthiness came from the drug addiction, really. There was 3 times in my life during that 7 years that I've lost everything in my life. I mean, my apartment, my home, my cars. And, I'd go even as far as my family. I've severed so many bridges that, yeah, it's a miracle that they're rebuilt now. It's a miracle that they're rebuilt now. And I wouldn't even say rebuilt. They are new bridges. I built new bridges with the current Brandon and not recovery Brandon or addict Brandon. I am recovered. I'm a whole new person. And I've built new bridges from the person that I am today. So with that being said, it's been a journey, to say the least. It's been a journey. But that's where that sourced from. I've lost a lot of things in my life, and I've lost a lot of things in my life, and specifically during that 7 years of drug addiction and alcohol addiction, I've lost just everything 3 times in my life, man. And yeah, it's crazy. My voice is shaking now because I'm speaking about it, and it's, I'm getting kind of emotional here. It's been a journey, man. It's been a journey. It's been a journey, and what the heck? Who put the onions in here? Jeez. Oh man. Okay. All right. Keep it together, Brandon. Keep it together. All right. So that's where that came into play. Okay. The limiting belief of I'm not worthy. Now, the second limiting belief that I made up about myself was I can't trust anybody. I can't trust anybody. And where that source from is that I can't trust myself. Coincidentally, it's the same period of my life that limiting belief was born. The cocaine addiction and the alcohol addiction for 7 years. I've told myself so many times, I've told my mom, I've told my dad, I told my brothers so many times that I was going to get sober. I was going to quit. And I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. And I couldn't stop for the life of me. It had a grasp on me. And the thing is, my childhood, I don't think it was all that bad. Yeah, a lot of crazy shit happened, but it's not as bad as others, And I'm humbled by that, of course. However, addiction doesn't it doesn't discriminate. You can be from the best family in the world, however, just addiction itself, whether it's heroin or cocaine or crack or meth or or alcohol or anything else, right? Addiction by itself. And see, here's the thing too, addiction doesn't have to be a substance. It doesn't have to be a substance. It doesn't have to be a substance. You could be addicted to sex. You could be addicted to porn. You could be addicted to your partner. You could be addicted to eating. You could be addicted to, there's so many addictions out there in the world, Everything is in moderation. Everything is in moderation. And just getting back on topic with the trust, why I couldn't trust myself is because, I kept relapsing to the point where I didn't believe myself when I spoke. Can you believe that? I could not believe a word that came out of my own mouth. I couldn't, because it was an every week thing. It was damn near an everyday thing. And just, wow, I'm just reflecting back on it. It's just one of those things, man. It was a period of my life that really got me to not trust myself. So when I don't trust myself, I don't trust other people. And I didn't trust people to have my back. I always had to do everything by myself, always a lone wolf. And trust me, I've gotten pretty far doing that. I'm not going to lie to you. However, now bringing people into the equation, like my partner Cynthia and my friends and my family, there gets to be trust built within in order for the people outside to also trust you. Because how you trust yourself, you teach others how to trust you. Okay? And how worthy you embody to be is teaching others of how capable you are. So that's that. That's that for the limiting belief that was born through the addiction. So there's two of them that were born through the addiction phase of 7 years. And that is the unworthiness, that I already lost everything in my life 3 times in a row. Like, what the fuck else can I lose? So I didn't thrive to do anything else besides work and drugs and alcohol. And that was that's what happens when you lose all of, everything that you've built 3 times in your life, man. And I know people that have lost way more. So that's that through the addiction, and then also the trust and the untrust, or not trusting myself. Let's reword that. Not trusting myself is because I kept relapsing, man. Kept relapsing. And I just, I couldn't stop. I invested so much power into an external substance or external substances that I thought was giving me power, that I only trusted the drugs and the alcohol for me to be authentic, and I couldn't be further from the truth. Couldn't be further from the truth. Now, third, last but certainly not least, that nobody would ever want me. Nobody would ever love me, and nobody would ever care for me, like how I care for people. Getting emotional again, man. Jeez. It's been a journey in that space as well. It's been a journey in that space as well. I so in my early 20s, right? I'm actually 19 going into my early 20s. I was deployed as a Department of Defense contractor in Afghanistan doing network administration. I'm working with a lot of communication equipment, routers, switches, firewalls, the whole shebang. Supporting army bases or joint bases in Afghanistan. I was in Kabul, Afghanistan, the capital of Afghanistan. And really, what happened with that was, let me rewind a little bit before I go into Afghanistan. I felt that I wasn't loved as a child. The love that I got was only based on my achievement. So what happened? I searched for love in all the bad places. All the bad places. I couldn't find the love that I wanted all the way through, all the way up to 19. Actually, and beyond that, to be honest, I couldn't find the love that I wanted so bad in my life. I couldn't find it. Just for somebody to care for me as much as I cared for them. And I don't feel like I was loved as a child too, because the love that I received was totally based off of achievement. Only when I achieved something, that's when I was loved and I was hugged and I was told I love you and congratulations and I'm proud of you. It was only based off of achievement. So now I become a people pleaser. And then every relationship that I've had was just about them. Just about them. My entire existence was about them, making them happy. Because that was the love that was shown to me from a child growing up. It was only based on achievement. So I had to spoil, my exes. Actually, not my exes. They're not mine anymore, right? The exes. I had to spoil the exes. And that is where the people pleaser was born. So I was dating this one, an ex. I was dating an ex for about 7 years. I'd say 7 years. Okay. And the last two were on and off, really. And also, her name will not be disclosed inside of this episode, okay? However, what ended up happening was that I was like, 7 years, wow, that's a long time to be with someone. As naive as I was, thinking teenage love would last, right? And I applaud, couples that have made it through the storm since teenagers all the way into marriage. I applaud it, man. It takes a lot of willpower. However, what ends up happening is I couldn't find the love that I wanted in my life until I met this girl. And the first 4 years were just magic. Just phenomenal. Then the fifth year, that's when problems started happening. And the sixth year is when we break up. So I think this is for good now. I think that, okay, it's over. Huge opportunity comes. And I'm so heartbroken. I go searching for love in a war zone. Can you believe that? a 19-year-old searching for love in a war zone. Man. I was so heartbroken that I was searching for love in a war zone. And it's, yeah, a 19-year-old searching for a love that he never was shown as a child all the way through his adulthood. That's searching for love inside a war zone, Afghanistan. And granted, I got love, but not the love that I wanted. I got the respect, I got the honor, I got the dignity. It was an awesome experience, and I got the love, but not the love that I wanted. You know, I got the respect, I got the honor, I got the dignity. However, I just didn't. That wasn't the love I was looking for. Let's say that. It wasn't the love I was looking for. It wasn't the love that I was so desperately wanting in my life. So we end up trying this long distance thing. I'm in Afghanistan. She's here in the States. And what ends up happening is that I ask her for a specific gift during Christmas. A specific gift during Christmas, and can you imagine, you know, just a 19 or 20-year-old in Afghanistan just seeing everybody's reaction when they open up their gifts from their loved ones, and their gifts from their partners, and their gifts from, yeah, specifically that. My mom was sending me a lot of stuff, so like, thank you, Mom. I appreciate that. You're always in my heart for that. However, specifically from the partners, when I used to see everybody unravel their gifts, right, with their eyes wide open, and just being shown that so much love for being in a war zone, supporting their family back home, it was something I wanted to experience. And one of the gifts that one of my coworkers over there received was something so simple. However, he just broke down, man. Like, he just experienced so much love with this very simple gift. And the gift was like 3 dozen cookies. It was just 3 dozen cookies, chocolate chip cookies. I remember that day. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, it'd be pretty cool if I could get some cookies, right? You know, it's simple. It's not too hard to make. And, you know, it doesn't cost much, you know? So I ask the ex at the time, hey, can I get some cookies for Christmas? Can I get some cookies for Christmas? And she said, sure. 1 week passes. Okay. Well, I mean, it's like 2,000 or 3,000 miles away. Okay. 1 week, all right. 2 weeks passes. Okay, well, maybe there's a delay or something. I don't know. 3 week passes. Okay. I still have hope for it to show up. However, I don't know. 4th week passes. My cookies aren't coming. And at that moment, I realized, and not realized, but the story that I made up about myself or the picture that I painted about myself was that I was not lovable. Nobody would ever want me. They didn't. I would never be loved. I wasn't worthy. Like that tied in like all three of the limiting beliefs. It was a constant cycle of what I was generating out of those three limiting beliefs. There's more, of course, but those are the strongest ones. I would say that that I became a prisoner to. And in that very moment, I made up about myself that I was unlovable. Also, that I wasn't even worthy of cookies. I wasn't even worthy of cookies. Can you believe that? Me, not worthy of cookies. Are you serious? Come on. And I say that as the individual recording this episode. However, back then, I was so dependent on validation. And I guess that was the validation that I was looking for that I just never got. So I made up about myself that I was unworthy in that situation. I made up about myself that I couldn't trust myself, so I didn't trust others. Also, I made up about myself that I'm not lovable and that nobody would ever want me ever again. So that's where the addiction starts when I get back. And then I'm just replaying these cycles with the exes that I've generated, replaying the same cycle over and over and over and over again. Whew! Deep. Ah, man. And that's to wrap up the source subtopic. I know that was a lot. Moving on to number 2, agendas. So how does limiting beliefs keep you in your own agenda and for you to just not see the outside world? So those are traumatic experiences, okay? They're traumatic experiences that happened within my life. And how they kept me in my own agenda was I was seeing the world from the wound, because you see the world from what you've become, not who you authentically are. You see the world from what you've become and not who you authentically are. Now let me explain that. Those limiting beliefs that I generated, those limiting beliefs that I made up about myself, the pictures and the paintings that I've painted about myself, okay? This is the lens I was seeing out of. I was seeing out of the wound. And I was seeing the world as an unworthy world of me just trying to accomplish anything. I was seeing the world as an untrustworthy world. I can't trust nobody in this world. And I was seeing the world as an unlovable world. So I did a lot of really shady shit during the addiction phase. A lot of shady shit that I probably should have mentioned. Okay, let's just say that I was paying for love for a while. Let's say that. Okay, and yeah, it made me really disrespect women in a way. I hated them for a long time, and it was just a journey of inauthenticity. But I was looking at the world and the people in it from the wound. From the wound. Now, when we're looking at the world through our wounds and we don't take the time to do the unlearning process, which Live For You is phenomenal for. Go to Live For You. Woo! But if we don't take the time to do the unlearning process in order to create a breakthrough in our lives, to break through that wound, because remember, the only way out is through. The only way out is through. Now, if we don't take the time to go through this, instead of going around it and avoiding it and ducking it and going over it, going through it, we will look through that wound for the remainder of our life. People say that time heals. I call bullshit. Time teaches you how to live with pain. It is your responsibility to take your life in your own hands and to create something new by unlearning the conditioning and unlearning what you've thought about yourself through a very extensive reflective process in order to start creating the life that you want to create for yourself. Now, being on the agenda is two sides of the coins there, okay? There's being on your own agenda and being on other people's agendas. And again, moderation is fine, but being on your own agenda, where it's me, and I'm only seeing through my wounds and my wounds only, that in a sense is an addiction. If you really think about it, that in a sense is an addiction. You're addicted to yourself, and you're addicted to what you got going on, and you don't give a fuck about nobody else. You don't care about your wife. You don't care about your kids. You don't care about how you're showing up to them because you're so stuck in your own world. And that's the story of my life. That's why I can speak about it. I'm not judging none of you. I'm not. This is me speaking from experience. That's the honest truth. I am still honestly struggling with that too. You know, when I realize I'm on my own agenda and things are not looking the way that I anticipate them to, I look outward instead of inward. And when I have a snap moment, I take a break, I walk away for a little bit, and I come back and I apologize. And I apologize for being on my own agenda. I'm not seeing things from the other person's point of view. I'm not putting myself in the other person's shoes. And that's where that is. And I'd like to ask you that is, like, you being on your agenda, how are you showing up with your family? How much energy are you investing into only being about you to the point that you siphon and drain energy from the people that love you? Powerful, man. That's a powerful question. Ponder on that for a little bit. Yeah, that's a breakthrough right there. You think about that and you come up with a solution and ask yourself what you can do in order to improve the relationships in your life by stepping out of your agenda. That's a huge breakthrough. Boom. That's a huge breakthrough. What? Come on now. So, being on your own agenda is seeing through the wounds, seeing the world from your wounds. And it's a painful life to live. Painful life to live. And I'll tell you one thing. It's a painful process to go through the self-reflecting stage as well, to see where you're responsible with your life and how you generated all of it, how you generated your reality. It was no one's fault besides yours, man. Come on now, grow up. Okay, and I say that with love. I say that with love. Okay, you are responsible. You chose it. You chose it. So, with that being said, is That's agendas, being on your own agenda, seeing from the wound, showing up not to your best potential, to the people that actually love you, and holding on to the attachments of where you are in life right now is right, when there's so much more abundance that you can be creating with your life. Agenda, man. Agenda. Start taking risks. That's the only way to break it. That's the only way to break it. And how to get onto other people's agendas as well, to load balance, that is to have mature conversations. What do you want from me? What are you expecting from me as a partner? What are you expecting from me as a son? Like, what can I do to grow our relationship? How can we build connection? Do we need to spend more time together? Is it about the time or is it about the connection? Mature conversations get to be had. Confrontations will happen. However, to break the agenda of you and to be able to see the world and open up your horse blinders to the abundance that is out there, and to be able to walk through each and every single one of those doors that are available for you to walk through, it takes getting out of your agenda. Now, this is a transition point to my third subtopic, and how being in your own agenda actually keeps you a prisoner of your own mind. Keeps you a prisoner of your own mind. You don't have to be behind bars in prison to actually be behind bars in prison. You created the bars. You created the prison inside of your own head. And that's all from the conditioning from childhood up. Even if you had a great life, there's still experiences that made you paint a picture. I know certainly it did with me. I know it certainly did with the bajillion people that I know. It doesn't matter the life that you lived. It's the pictures that you've painted about yourself. The pictures that you painted about yourself. And that is the walls of that prison that you created. Those are the bars that you, one pole at a time, constructed to keep yourself safe. And that, my friend, is called the comfort zone. It's called the comfort zone. So, the limiting beliefs, where do they source from? Agendas, being on your own agenda, me, has created a self-constructed prison within your own mind. And again, I could speak about it because I lived it. And the prison that I created around my own mind, or in my own mind, was drugs and alcohol. I laugh about it now, but that's not no laughing matter. I laugh about it now, though, because that's not me anymore. The prison that I created and my safe place was cocaine and alcohol. That's the honest truth. And with that prison that I've created with myself, I've probably spent over $1 million on drugs and alcohol. $1 million for 7 years. I know people that have done way more than that. However, that's a lot for me, right? I mean, come on. You know, like almost $1 million on that. And partying and girls and yeah, it's a wild ride, man. Wild ride to where I couldn't save anything. I wasn't saving and investing into myself. I wasn't doing these things in order to look for a better future. because it's the comfort zone to party, drugs, alcohol. That's where I was getting the validation that I thought I wanted. And I'm so wrong for that, because it's not. It's not. So that's the prison that I constructed for myself, with the limiting beliefs, where they source from. Also, from me being in my own agenda and just not caring about anybody else. That was the safe zone. That was the comfort zone for me. And I did not want to reach out of bounds at all for 7 years, until I reached a breaking point where I actually really did want to get sober. Really, 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 really wanted to get sober, but I didn't have a vehicle to do so. And I just couldn't do it by myself. As much as people say, oh, I can do it by myself, that's total bullshit. Because if they're deep enough into the addiction to where it's like chemically messing with their brain as far as a stress response for relief, yeah, it's not doable by yourself. Straight and simple. If you're using it as a way to avoid, you won't be able to do it by yourself. If you're using it as a way to avoid traumas in your life and a way to avoid confrontation and mature conversations, it's rare. Let me say rare. I'm not going to say you're not going to be able to do it, but it's rare for that to happen. You know what I mean? To take that in and a self-reflective state, and to be able to just stop. I've never met anybody that did that, and I know a lot of people that are still addicts to this day. So, with that being said, the prison that was created there was drugs and alcohol, and that was my safe. Partying, and that was my safe space for a very long time, 7 years. And after 7 years, I really, really wanted to be sober. I realized like my heart's skipping beats. I was obese, believe it or not. I was obese. I was going to hell, man. I was going to hell. I created my own hell on earth, man. I did. I did. And the way how I got out of that prison was fighting for my life through going through a emotional intelligence and leadership training, and through Live For You. I will shout Live For You from the top of every mountain top for the rest of my life. And I'm so grateful and in such appreciation of what they've done for me, and and giving me a vehicle to create what I have in my life, and to let go and to wipe out all of those traumas in my life and all of those limiting beliefs that came up for me in the past, just so I could create something by stepping out of my prison, stepping out of the comfort zone, to stop doing the drugs, to stop doing the partying, and to stop doing the alcohol. Now, let me be very clear. It's not a rehab or a therapy session, okay? It's designed for leaders that are ready for the next cut in their life. And at that time, I was ready for the next cut in my life. And I had to find out why I kept using, why I invested so much energy into the addiction. So there was no plan of weaning off or anything like that. Nothing like that. Okay? It was self-reflective as far as why. Asking these questions why. And through experiential exercises to break through. To break through all of those limiting beliefs, me being in my own agenda all the goddamn time, me being able to see my family in a new way, me being able to see my partner in a new way, me being able to connect and through empathy and kindness and love and compassion and to smile when speaking to people, just getting out of the horse blinders, getting out of the prison, breaking down those walls in order to create the life that I am creating now. What? Yeah, man, just professionally and personally. It's just been such an incredible journey, man, and I just wish this for everyone. But yeah, how to get out of the prison is by taking yourself on, man. Is by taking yourself on. It doesn't have to be live for you, you know? Whatever works for you. If it's therapy, cool. Just go do it. Just go do it. Stop. I encourage you, I empower you to stop trying to explain shit that's happening within your life. Stop trying to explain it because subconsciously you're doing the actions anyway. Stop trying to explain it and choose something different. Because that's another prison, trying to explain what's happening. And honestly, nobody knows what's happening. Everybody is in their own experience. I don't know what the hell you're experiencing until you let me know. And even then, I still don't know what you're experiencing because I'm not you. I can have interpretations about it, but there's no facts behind it. I can listen to understand and not to respond. However, your experience is yours and my experience is mine. I have no idea what you're going through. And I don't intend to. Because I don't want to try to explain what's going on inside of your head, the prison that you created in your life. So truth be told, we are all living in our own experiences. I don't know what you're going through. You don't know what I'm going through. And it's one of those things that I really don't want to try to explain what's happening within you. I can listen to understand. And I can listen to understand instead of listening to respond. However, I'm still not you to experience what you're going through. Okay? So that's another prison that we create as far as trying to explain everything. We invest so much energy into explaining what's happening instead of taking action to get out of it. Let me repeat that again. We invest so much time trying to understand and explain things that it takes us out of action to actually move beyond it. And that's another prison. So, yeah, that's that. Being a prisoner of the mind by the source of the limiting beliefs, the picture that you painted about yourself through traumatic experiences, and then how those experiences become wounds that you look through to stay on your own agenda, and how the agenda transforms into the prison inside of your own mind. Powerful episode. I apologize that the baby started crying. I had to take her out of her high chair to put her in her playpen. She's doing fine now. However, yeah, that's primarily the episode. All right, guys. I do want to do a really quick recap on how everything ties into each other. Okay. So, first off, number one is the source. What happened in order for you to adopt the limiting belief? And what was the picture that you painted about yourself through that experience? I'm not worthy of creating anything in my life. I don't trust myself, so I can't trust nobody else. Also, that I'm unlovable. Nobody will ever care about me. Nobody will ever care about me. Then from there, that ties into, and those are my experiences, okay? Those are my experiences. Those were my limiting beliefs. You get to ask yourself your limiting beliefs. What are your sources, okay? And how that ties into number two, the second subtopic of agendas. So when we look, or when we adopt those limiting beliefs about ourselves and we start painting these pictures, these vivid pictures about ourselves, that we're not worthy and we're not capable and we're not trustworthy and we're not lovable, and we start creating these limiting beliefs and we start adopting these limiting beliefs and we start living with these limiting beliefs, we're actually seeing through the wound. We're seeing the world through the wound. We're seeing the world through the wound, through the limiting beliefs, instead of who we authentically are. So how we see the world is from who we've become, not who we authentically are. Again, that's how we see the world is from who we've become, not who we authentically are. And how to take off the horse blinders and take off the veil and to get out of your own agenda, to open up all of the infinite amounts of potentials and possibilities that you have to create in this life, is by going through a very severe, painful, self-reflective process to where you actually give yourself permission to feel what you've been holding back for so long. That's the breakthrough. The only way out is through. The only way out is through. That's releasing the agenda. And then the third recap is the third subtopic, which is you don't have to be you don't have to be in prison to be in prison. Again, that's you don't have to be in prison to be in prison. Because from the source of the limiting beliefs, the pictures that you've created about yourself, then creating your own agenda through the wounds, making it about you, the classic victim, and why you are the way you are. That's agenda, buddy. And then from there, that transformed into becoming a prisoner of yourself. Becoming a prisoner of yourself. And again, the only way out is through to break down those walls. The only way out is through to break down those walls. The only way out is through to break down those walls of the prison that you created. You don't have to be locked up, man. You're locking yourself up. You built your own prison inside of your own head. And the only way out is through to break down those walls. It's the only way out is through, man. Take it or leave it, buddy. Yes, we get to start becoming responsible for everything in our lives, not just certain aspects. We get to be responsible for how we react. We get to be responsible for the negative cycles in our lives. We get to be responsible for our coping mechanisms. We get to be responsible, man. We get to start being responsible with our lives. That's the only way to break down those walls. And the resource that I can provide to you guys is going through Live For You Emotional Intelligence and Leadership workshops and trainings. They are outstanding. It's a technology designed to put a mirror up towards your face to show you how you've been showing up within your life. Powerful, man. Powerful. So that's the episode, guys. Again, I don't know if you guys can hear the baby, but I'm going to be with her pretty soon. However, this is where this is, right? I'm doing these episodes. I'm having the courage to record these episodes, even with the baby screaming in the back, and that's my mission statement for the world, to have the courage to let go of the perfectionist in order to start taking risks in your life by first taking risks in mine. So yeah, that's the episode. Please follow me. I humbly ask you to follow me for more updates on emotional intelligence and leadership and the how-tos, and not just the general bullshit that you see on social media, okay, on just the end result, but content on how to create the life that you want, and also just what's happening in between instead of what you may see on social media of just the end result. Okay? Follow me. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and via podcasts. I'm on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So no excuses, guys. No excuses. I'm pretty much everywhere, damn it. No excuses. I'm just kidding, but come on. It'd be cool if you follow me, man. And before I close out the episode, where to follow me is just the Age of the Comeback. The Age of the Comeback. Plain and simple. Okay? So I got to get going to take care of my daughter, my 1-year-old. However, it was such a pleasure having you guys with me today. Thank you guys so much for continuing to believe in me and to continue to watching my episodes and my reels and my clips, and just thank you for the unwavering support, and just thank you for the feedback as well, where I can be better, where I can improve the level of my content. And I just want to sincerely thank each and every single one of you for watching these episodes with me, and thank you. I'm in sincere appreciation, and I love each and every single one of you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Once again, I've said it a bajillion times. I'll say it one more time. Thank you. And there it is, guys. This is the Age of the Comeback, and I'll see you guys next time. Boom! Okay, let's record on here. Let's record on here. All right. Let's record on here. Oof. All right. Let me just, my breathing exercises really quick. Check the mic placements. Breathe in life. Exhale everything that does not serve you. Breathe in life. Exhale everything that does not serve you. All right. Let's get to it. All right. One, two. All right, start over. 1, 2, and 3. Hey! Let's start over. Wow, so bad. So bad. All right. Blooper. That was so dumb. Okay. All right. 1, 2, and 3. And third, certainly, last but certainly not least, third, hold on, baby screaming in the back, give me a sec. All right, she's quiet now. So, hold on, give me one sec, the sun is going down. I gotta turn on the light, give me one sec. Okay, there we go. Oosh. So where was I? Okay, so a 19-year-old going into a war zone trying to find the love that I had never shown as a child. All the way through all of my relationships, all the way through to 19 and beyond, really. So I go to the war zone, and I got, sorry guys, my battery on my camera died, so I'm trying to remember where exactly I was at. However, my baby dad is crying, dang it. All right, but yeah. So what's going on is that everybody has their own experiences, okay? Everybody has their own experiences. Oh my God, hold on. All right, put on back Elmo for the baby. All right, I'm back. So where was I? Everybody has their own experiences, okay? And truth be told, nobody really understands what each other are going through, okay? Being a prisoner of your own mind is attaching to your own agenda. And it sources from the, oh my gosh, man, this baby, hold on. What's going on with you, babe? Come on. All right, I'm back. Let's see if my dog will let me complete this episode. All right. Baby, stop crying all the time.